Hi, my name is Letty Klutz, and I am the Senior Vice President of Membership, Education, and Programs for APIC. APIC is the Association for Professionals in Infection Control and Epidemiology. Our members are frontline workers working in healthcare facilities, and so they are there to keep patients safe. To make sure that they don't get hospital-acquired infections. I think one of the, I would say, positives coming out of the pandemic is the light that was shed on the important work that our members do. We actually began this work in June of 2022. We had very, I would say, outdated and old school materials, and APIC was in a situation where we were in desperate need to upgrade and update our certification preparation materials. And I'd reached out to the Holmes Corporation because I knew that they were a leader in cert prep. I think it was probably actually a historical moment for both of our organizations with how quick we stood up 3 certification programs. Everyone from, our partners at the Holmes Corporation to our subject matter experts, everyone was invested in making sure that we were bringing the best possible product to the market for our members. And so it is really exciting to see how well these have done in the marketplace. They have certainly exceeded all of our expectations as far as the interest. When somebody asks, how do I study for this, we have an answer, and we have resources to provide them. I have, like I said, so much appreciation and respect for what our members do. And that's, I think, for just associations in general. You're there because you believe in the work that we're doing. You believe in giving back to whatever industry you serve. And at the end of the day, as my CEO likes to say, it's sort of all boats rise. Right? So when you're providing information, education, resources, whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, you're making the world a better place.
My name is John Bacon, the VP of Sales and Partner Experience at ASAE. ASAE is affectionately known as the Association for Associations. We have about over 52,000 members. We really are trying to find ways to continue to lead from the front in our day-to-day by helping with leadership, by helping with topics that's relevant to associations, by being able to be the conduit between partners and associations and how they can kind of help with products and services that can really help the association continue to advance their missions. Demo Day started during COVID, actually. Obviously, in March of 2020, the global pandemic, really have kind of dealt a blow to associations, and they had to cancel in-person events for at least 18 to 24 months. So association leaders were faced with a crisis like, hey, how do we make sure that we have a vehicle to deliver programs and value to our members? ASAE's Demo Day sought to answer those questions for the industry in 2020, and as it evolved, it continues to be a valuable program to the ASAE community for 4 years later. And when we talked about kind of the mission of Demo Days, one is the overwhelming need that associations had to really transform their organization's events from face-to-face to virtual in a compressed amount of time. The other was to provide our industry partners a platform to demonstrate their capabilities in meeting those needs. ASAE has showcased over 300 presentations, and association leaders have tuned in almost 10,000 times. For us, it was something we don't know what we don't know, but we started to realize that associations found a lot of benefit in being able to be a part of these Demo Days because it really hit on a lot of topics and a lot of products and services they either had questions about or were in the middle of evaluating if they needed. And I think ASAE has a tremendous opportunity of really seeing what new companies and startup companies that are out there and what they're doing, and how do we make sure that we have a process for ensuring that it's of value to the association space, and then how do we get those partners in front of those folks to be able to show the difference that they can make. Active listening is key. Your members know what they need, and how do we make sure that we're delivering the things that they need and how they consume content to make sure that we're providing programs that's going to meet their needs.
Hi, my name is Jenna Stack. I'm the Executive Director for the Society of Interventional Oncology. The Society of Interventional Oncology was founded as a membership organization in 2017, so it's still a pretty young organization. Today, we're over 1,300 members internationally, spanning over 47 countries. To have the opportunity to share patient stories and to advocate for access for minimally invasive treatments is something that will change the whole cancer care world. And so it's incredibly meaningful to work for these physicians and stand alongside the research efforts that they're doing on a daily basis. Clinical research is not cheap. I think that's not a secret. And ultimately, the price tag, the project is $6 million. We knew that no one company was going to fund that. In some cases, that's 3 or 4x their entire research budget for the whole year. And so we went to 5 initially and said, if you all share this cost, this is what it could look like. And ultimately, we got to 3. So it's a pretty powerful statement to be able to bring industry competitors together. And ultimately, the success of this has set a standard going forward for other projects that the Society is working on and other potential research projects, preclinical projects as well. But to be able to bring competitors together in a way that unites the community has been a pretty powerful message. One of the pieces of feedback that I learned early in the process and that I would offer to other folks, especially from the industry side of negotiating these big dollars, is we invited them into the process. We had conversations early about the risk and about what the Society needed to make this successful, and made it clear this is a risky investment, but we believe it's worth it. And do you want to be on the team that wins at the end of this? We can't do it without you. It took a professional society like SIO to really stand up and say, we can together, if we can join forces, really put a study out that we know will change the standard of care and will provide access to patients that otherwise would only be looking at surgery as an option for what would otherwise be a life-threatening illness.